Ooh. I will say I absolutely love daily driving this thing. It's a real shame that it's gonna be a full-on back half tube chassis race truck at some point in its life. Feel bad for it. But anyways, welcome back to the channel. Whoa, turn that down. Got some really cool stuff in today. Let me show you these, a little teaser. These are actually the bushings for like a BMR K member. This is an upgrade. So this is like a, I can't remember what material it was. Dang it. Better material though, because if you guys know the bushings currently for the BMR K member, if you have them, you should check them. They get really soft and squishy, especially even when you tighten them down, but they wear out pretty easily. So working with my buddy Chuck, and he's working on these, so he sent me a pair to try out. Oh, I'm dropping them now. So he sent me some to try out on a car, see how they do. I want to say it's like a polycarbonate or I don't know, something like that, but super nice material. Anyways, finally, that's not what today's video is about. Finally got the crimped line back from Brown & Miller. So a few things on that. I sent it off to Brown & Miller. Took a little longer than expected, but I wanted to try this hose and fittings out because I really want to offer that at the shop at some point, because the line and the fittings really aren't that much more than like a PTFE. So to have a crimped line on your fuel system, your oiling system, trans specifically, and really anything else you want to do, because you can do like dash 4 AN lines for your boost control and know that you'll never have a leak, or you know, they're super flexible. I mean, this stuff, this isn't the hose you'd use, but this stuff is super flexible and doesn't kink. Look at that. I'm trying to make it turn, but it's not really working. But anyways, it's super flexible and super lightweight. And I know most people are like, oh my gosh, dude, it's half the weight of other fuel lines. But when you get to a point and it's hard to lose any more weight in your car, you start looking for things like this. So at some point, I'd like to offer this, and hopefully within like the next, probably by like the end of the year maybe, but the machine to do this is really expensive. And then obviously I want to have this stuff in stock. So essentially, if your car was at the shop, we would say, hey, for an extra however much it would be, it wouldn't be that much more, we can do Brown & Miller crimped line, and this stuff will literally probably outlive your car. And there's different colors obviously, and different, these are like double swivel, so they're a little more expensive, but it's nicer. This is like the lightest line that you can buy, and this line is rated for methanol because I did my fuel system in it just to test it out for you guys. And anyways, so that would be an option. And then another option, I'd like to stock the stuff so that everyone that buys from the website, coyotedirect.com, or if we have like another website in the future, hint, hint, you could go on there and say, hey, I need this much line and these fittings, and you'd have the whole catalog, and then you could actually cut it, map it all out, assemble it, send it to us, we'd crimp it and send it back to you. I don't know. That's kind of what I want to do in the future. I really like this crimp stuff, and I really want to do it on my personal car, just never had the ability to or the time to do it. And with building the Fox, I'm kind of trying to go like to the next level because I want to try things that I could offer to you guys, which I think would benefit you. So they're finally back, and let's go see how they fit. Look at us getting all fancy. This is actually what I have in the Fox right now for brake and oil. And then this is what we've been using in the Coyote stuff. But my engine, since we're going to be running on methanol, we got some 15W50 for it. But I did get all the lines on, so I'm starting to put it back together, this is the first time actually bolting the manifold down. So I'm actually bolting the manifold down now, got all the lines hooked up. Probably had this one just a hair too long, but this is the problem when you're kind of, it was the first time, and I actually changed this fitting. So I didn't have this fitting when I made the line. So it's a little long, but it works out. Got those lines back there, and then this is my main feed. Probably gonna P-clamp this like down there just to get it out of the way from the downpipe. But that's the main feed up to the pump. Goes to the System 1 filter, then wires out to the rails, and then they feed back to the regulator. Regulator comes back and across to the tank. So this is the first time actually putting fuel in the tank. So I've got a few leaks, so I'm starting to tidy up those. But yeah, this is just part of the process. Finally got like all my vac lines and stuff on there. Like I said, eventually I want to do all crimp dash 4 But right now it's just 1/4 inch push to lock fitting. So put a heat sleeve right there because that stuff's going pretty close to the exhaust. Not super close, but just to be careful. But really, I need to put trans fluid in it. I got the EGTs in there. I actually need to measure them and tighten them down, but they're actually physically in there. And man, wow, this thing is really close. So hopefully in the next day or two, we're starting it. We just need to, we need to make the downpipe, fix a few leaks. I need to get a belt for the pump, and she's ready to fire up. Oh my gosh. Oh, we're so close. so close. All right, so a couple days later, because I didn't have the camera the other day, but we actually started on the exhaust finally. So Joe found some time today and we started tacking it up. Look at that. So this is all titanium from Tycon. So obviously once we get the hood on, then we'll do the final trim on the downpipe. I guess it's technically an up pipe now, but we always cut it just a little short. That way we're not working with a huge freaking 3-foot pipe. But yeah, she's on there, tacked up. So Joe actually had to go do some stuff, so I'm gonna actually take it off, and now I'm gonna drill the backside for the O2 bung. And Kennedy is mounting the wheels for the truck. So we're gonna teach Kennedy how to do that today. But yeah, we got the little Tycon titanium bung. It's got like the little saddle for the support for it. So I'm gonna drill that and have it ready for Joe to put that on. But man, I haven't had the front end on this car in a while. Oh! Looks good. It just looks so good. Look at that fitment. Oh man, we are so dang close. So Joe, yesterday I sent him all the pinouts for all the sensors and everything that I added, because he's got to do the pinout map. So he started that yesterday. So really, that's why we did the downpipe today, so that we're hoping we could start it in the next day or two. I got to get a belt for the mechanical pump, and I still got to trim the throttle body keel, but we don't need that to start the car. So hopefully, some point in this video, we'll be starting the car. Man, look at that thing with the front end on. So sick. So, as you guys see, or saw, I got the hole drilled for Joe, so he can tack that up, and then hopefully in the next day or two he'll weld it. Titanium is really tough because you can only weld like a little spot at a time because it gets so hot. So you can only do like, I think, 1 inch, then you got to move on. And so I remember when Joe did my previous downpipes, I think he's done 2 titanium ones for me. And I know he hates it, but then the finished product, he loves it. But it just takes so long, super time consuming. So, god dang, that thing looks good with the front end on. So hopefully in the next day or two, Joe will get that welded up. And man, we are just so freaking close. Like I said, this video, I'm starting the car. So stay tuned. The day is over, but we're going to get the car started at some point in this video. It might be tomorrow or the next day, but I'm not closing out this video until we start this damn thing. Pancakes. We need a bigger... Let's just look at that stuff. The belt's on. You just gotta pull the drill down and keep it on the drill apart. This is dumb. Tell me when. Full speed to go. Oh shit. Pull down. Jesus. Fuck, can we just hook the belt up? Yeah, hook the belt up.
Hey, you should probably tie on your teeth. Alright, good.
Like it?
I mean, that's the stupidest thing ever. Who would I know? You fucking learned. You gotta figure it out. How do you think I learned? How would I know? I couldn't sit around my garage and go, how did I know? The whole fucking time. You figure it out. This is hitting something you're gonna need.
Tried. Oh shit!
So you think it's too much fuel or not enough fuel? Yeah, maybe it's, yeah. Why don't you screw that in a few turns? Don't go like all the way, just go a few turns. I do think it needs more fuel.
Oil pressure, might as well fucking leave it out.
Hit. Is that right? 15. Oh yeah, when it explodes and knocks the dust off of there.
Holy shit.
I didn't lie to you guys. We're not finishing this video until this damn thing starts. So we got the regulator out here because we had some fuel pressure problems and it's hard to reach. So we tried to verify a lot of things. There was air in the system. There's a lot going on right now. We had to pull the belt off, prime the pump because I forgot to do that initially. First time messing with mechanical stuff, so that was my fault. So we've had to pull the belt off a few times, prime the system. And then we were trying to get air out of the system and couldn't get to the regulator or crack a line because essentially it was getting stuck at the regulator. So finally, we just decided to pull the regulator out. So don't mind it sitting right there. It'll go back under. So we got air out of the system now. Finally got fuel, feeding and returning. All that's good to go now. Finally got that figured out. And then, we're trying to start it. And so we're playing with, or Joe's playing with the tune, trying to get enough fuel to it. So Joe's actually coming back. But another thing, I had a small trans leak. Like I said, when you're doing these fresh builds, everything's fresh. You've been working on it a long time. When you go to start it up, stuff just starts leaking. So fix the trans leak. It was literally just a loose fitting. Tighten that up. And then the oil pressure I noticed when we were trying to start the car wasn't working. And it's like, man, I'm pretty sure this thing has oil pressure, but need to verify that. So I took a lot of the harness apart, trying to track where the oil pressure wire was, and I'm using a combo low dollar sensor right now. So I got oil pressure and oil temp on the same sensor. So I had to send Joe a different, I moved it essentially, and then I moved the oil temp. So now Joe's got to reconfigure that in the pin map on the Holly, and then he's going to head back out here. So we were messing with this thing for quite a while earlier, trying to get it to start. It just would not completely kick over. It was firing and firing and just would not completely kick over. And so it's a fresh setup. There's a lot of bugs we're trying to work out. That's part of it, being a fresh build. And there's a few things on this car that we haven't done before that we're trying. So that's just part of it. And then we fried a starter. So I never had this happen. This is the second time I've had this happen on the higher end, nicer Ford Performance starters. They definitely do not like repeated or long starts, but sure enough, I grabbed a spare just stock Gen 2 starter that I had that's been used and put that back on, and now it's fine. So had to switch that as well. Hopefully Joe's on his way back soon and we're gonna try again. So I'm gonna pull all the plugs out because now the plugs are probably flooded from trying to attempt to start it so many damn times. So I'm gonna pull the plugs, get those changed out, and then hopefully Joe will be back soon, and we'll try again. I don't know how long this video is gonna be, but we're getting this damn car started. Well, I told you I wasn't gonna close out the video till we started that damn car. So, it's funny. We thought there was fuel pressure issues this whole time, which we definitely had some air in the system. We got that out, but we could not get this damn thing to fire off. Well, as you guys know, I wired the car, so there was probably gonna be some issues because I've never wired a Holly from scratch. So I wired the car, and to save time, I bought a coil harness from a company thinking that would save me some time, and it was actually nice. It was already all loomed. It's a smart coil harness, so it was already loomed, had a relay, bigger power wires, the whole 9 yards. So I thought I'd save myself some time and buy that harness when I was trying to wire the car. That harness, turns out that they either had labeled them incorrectly or something, but anyways, the whole bank 1 was dead. So bank 1, cylinder 1, 2, 3, 4 were dead. So we knew it was something with the harness. Well, the harness was getting power, so Joe is trying to track down the issue, and Joe figures out that they labeled them wrong, or whatever the case. They obviously labeled them wrong. They were in the wrong spot, but Joe switched them around, and now it fires on all 8 cylinders. So we thought we had a fuel issue, which we didn't. We did have some air in the system for sure, but we could not get the thing to fire off because one, it wasn't getting enough fuel pressure to start, and these mechanical systems already have trouble starting because, you know, it's based off cable drive. And then when you have 4 cylinders that aren't firing, it's really hard to get the car to start. So we spun it by a drill, really got that thing going, and we're able to get the car to start. So then we realized, once we looked at the EGT data, once the car was running, that the whole bank 1 was dead. So we fixed the coils, and it fires up on its own now. So huge thanks to Streetcar Joe for fixing it. Obviously now the car is running. Got to trace down like some other issues. That's just what happens when you start a fresh build. But for the most part, the car starts up on its own now. It can idle. So yeah, I've got to fix a few small issues. We had the regulator sitting out here because we thought we had fuel pressure problems, and we didn't. So I got to put that back together. I got to trace a couple wires for some sensors that aren't reading right now, but man, what a relief. I was so excited when the car started. Oh man, I can't buy Joe enough ice cream. I just did buy him ice cream though. Got him a small Reese's Blast from Sonic, so that should hold him over for a couple days, and then we'll have to refuel him. But it started. We're here. Things sound sick. We'll see you guys on the next one.
40 roll? I guess.